All right, guys, just wanted to show you my basically my method and my workflow of how I hack my way through a whole section of a lot of cut audio from a drum part that I'm going to be quantizing, just kind of tightening up. In my other video, I sort of showed the basics of it. Now I'm going to show you how you can work fast. Right now, I haven't been. Right now, I've kind of got it down where I can really tear through editing a lot of sections and moving quick. And moving quick is important. Time is money. So first thing, I've gone through and I've sliced right on top of all the transients. In my other video, I talked about how to solve flamming, like we have right over here. The snare hit happens before the kick, in which case I let the snare dictate where the downbeat should be, and then I'll just go back after the fact and move that one and tighten it up. So what I do is I'm just going to take my little lasso, and usually I grab a decent amount. You don't want to go too crazy because you can end up making mistakes and it'll move it to like a wrong, in this case it's a triplet. And then you got to go back in and try to figure out what you did wrong, and that can get really, really frustrating. Also, the other thing you want to do is set the smallest or the most sort of common. It has to be the smallest, actually. But in this case, this is just sort of a string of triplets. So I'm just going to set it to triplets. Right now I have it to 6 tuplets, so eighth note triplets. And that's going to let me see on the grid a little bit easier where these notes are supposed to be sitting. You also want to move your cursor to a point where you can visually see where all those are. So this is basically like 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet up top. And that's what I want all these to line up on. So all I'm going to do is just grab it. I could do it, kind of that much is probably a good idea. And pull up my quantize box. I have it set to eighth note triplets because I know that's the rhythm that he's playing. That's the smallest rhythm and just the continuous rhythm. And just hit apply. And it's moved it. And then what I do is I don't click. So this is so that I know where the last group that I grabbed was. So I don't click until I've moved the screen over and can see the farthest one. And then I grab another measure's worth, pull up the quantize box. I'm using shortcuts to get there. Hopefully whatever DAW you're using, you know those shortcuts. In Digital Performer, it's Command 0. And then do the same thing for this measure. And this way you can visually see quickly and easily that the notes got moved to where they're supposed to go. So this part is a little 6 tuplet snare fill. And if you notice, this is starting ahead of the beat. It's early. So I wanna move it. So what I'm gonna do is change the grid to 6 tuplets so that I can see all those little 6 tuplets up along the top. Especially this end got a little mangled in the performance. I remember when we were doing this, it was starting to get a little late in the session, and it was just, trying to get it in the computer, and sometimes you have to make pragmatic decisions. I know it shouldn't be like that, but whatever. This is the real world, where we have computers to make everything sound great. So what I'm going to do is I can kind of tell this is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So all of these are pretty ahead. So, oops, I'm going to turn off the grid so I can make my selection more freely. I'm just going to grab those guys. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move them all closer, just as a group, as a unit. And then I'm going to pull up my quantize box, hop over to the 6 tuplets, and then hit apply. So that's a way of kind of managing and controlling it. And then, I broke my little rule, so I clicked. So I shouldn't have clicked. That way I could have seen where that was going to be at. And then same thing, grab these guys, move them over so that they're all starting. Oops, grab the last part of the other fill. There we go. Move them over so they're all closer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pull up the quantize box and go like that. And then same thing in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me see. So yeah, so this one should be on the downbeat. This one should be on this 6 tuplet over there, just that second one in. So I'm going to do the same thing. Going to grab those and just move those all over a little. Well, actually, I'm going to undo that. Never mind. I'm just going to start by quantizing. How should I do this? I'll just move that one. And then move that one. And then move that one. So what I'm doing is I'm just getting them ballpark so that I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2. And then I'm going to grab them and then quantize them. That way they just go to the correct place quicker and easier. And then you can always obviously listen back. It's going to sound weird. Sorry, I know that you don't hear the audio through the speakers like I am, but it's going to sound weird because there's all these gaps. This is definitely going to be problematic to drag over. Hopefully I can make that sound all right. Usually something like this is just going to take some putzing around with. But I think that's pretty much what the fill was supposed to sound like. Let me go back and listen to the beginning of the section. I think I'm wrong, actually. I think I've got these in the wrong place. So it'll just take me a little bit more time to figure out what this was supposed to be. So might actually be something like that, maybe. Take a listen. No, that's not right. Well, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out eventually. But at any rate, that's basically the process from a workflow standpoint and how you can hack your way through a big section. And then, it's just a matter of, I like to zoom in. That way I'm making the edits correctly. So I'm looking at triplets. In Digital Performer, it's 160 is the number that I'm looking for. And then I just go through and drag over. And then as I'm working, when I find one of these spots where there's a flam, then I turn off the group. I grab just this one, just the kick, pull up the quantize box, move that one onto the grid. Like in my other video that I made about fixing flamming, it's not ideal, but it will at least fix it so that when I sample replace, everything will line up kick and snare where I want it to. Now you can grab multiple at a time too. I kind of find with drums, if you micromanage it a little bit, you can get a better result quicker. You could grab a whole bunch and just drag them on over. And we got another flam. Now that one's definitely less than ideal because it was ahead of the rest of the drum parts. So you might potentially hear some sort of an artifact in there. Like I said in my other video, sometimes you just have to make a pragmatic decision, and that's the way that I'm dealing with it. And then after you've done that, usually I'll grab the whole section and then add the crossfades all at once, and then listen back and just sort of double check any crossfades if I hear like a crunch or some noise or something. So that's the way that I do my workflow to move as quick as possible. Obviously, right now it took a little bit longer than it would if I wasn't holding a microphone, but at any rate, thank you for watching. Hopefully that helps you guys with any problems you might be coming across in your own projects. Good luck with everything out there.